Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Alex, Wholesaler Freedom. Welcome to my channel. For those who don't know, this is a channel all about wholesaling real estate, whether you're doing it virtual or local, all about business, entrepreneurship, motivational stuff, a little bit of my personal life, and everything in between. So with this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over a in-depth tutorial, complete guide on how to set up a brand new CRM through Podio, absolutely free, and track all the information that you need to track that's important. I'll have references throughout the video on different videos that I've done to help explain things, and I'll link those in the description below. But I really hope that you find this video helpful. It'll save you tons of time, money managing these leads, and even paper sometimes if you're tracking it all on a notepad or something like that. So again, if you find any value out of this video, I took a lot of time to make this. Please subscribe down below, give me that thumbs up, and click that notification bell. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So again, Podio is an app that keeps track of all your leads, and let's talk about what a lead and a prospect is before we get into that. But a lead is anybody who says yes to selling, whether they want to or they need to, and a prospect is somebody that we have not determined whether or not they want to sell. So think about it like this. So my neighbor down the street is a prospect. I knock on the door, ask them if they want to sell. They say yes. Now they become a lead. At that point, when they become a lead, they get put into our Podio, our CRM, Customer Resource Manager, and we can keep track of that, and that's how we build our pipeline. Even if they want retail for the property, we keep track of that, and we follow up with them 6 to 12 months later to see if anything's changed for them. And again, that's how you build your pipeline. So this is a very quick, easy, effective method. You don't have to pay for any fancy program, automations, anything like that. There's a lot of features out there that really, when you're starting out, or even if you have a business already, that you just don't need. So I hope this guide helps you again, and let's get right into the tutorial. A brand new Podio account from scratch for absolutely free and maximize your lead conversions, things like that. So let's go ahead right into it. I'm gonna go Podio.com. I'm gonna go ahead and sign up. gmail.com.nakum. Click sign up. It's going to ask us to check our mail, so we're going to go ahead to Gmail. I hope you like my test email. There we go. Verify email address. Confirm. So it's going to ask you a couple of questions about who you are and your business. I buy houses. Actually, let's just do Alex buys houses. Real estate. CRM. 1 to 10. And done. I'm going to tell you kind of like a little bit about Podio and whatnot. You can skip through this, so we're going to talk about that. Alright, so it's going to bring us to our first workspace. So the way Podio works is, there we go. The way Podio works is you have your workspaces. So for example, if you have like a virtual if you're doing virtual wholesaling, you can make your separate markets here. You could do like so let's do Maryland, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and you can keep your leads separated that way. But what I like to do is right away I like to delete all of these. So manage this, delete. And the reason why we delete these is because we're going to build this from scratch. And just copy and paste this so you can do it for each one. Alright, so now we can create our new workspace. I buy houses, and then whatever your market is, so whatever your business is and the market that you're in. If you're virtual wholesaling, that way you can separate your leads and manage them that way. Or you can do it all in one workspace, whatever is easiest for you, but I suggest that for separating them, because you're going to create your contacts and everything, and you don't want to get them intermingled. Especially when you hire up, you want to make it easier for your employees, as easy as possible. So, alright, so now we're at our new workspace. This is just asking if you want to add any like VAs, co-workers to access this. I'm going to hit no right now. And so we don't have any apps. So what we need to do, first off, I'm just going to explain what these buttons are. So this is just our connections. So anybody we add to the workplace, any connections that are connected to this workplace, they're going to be up here. Any appointments that you set for your calendar, this is kind of like the calendar where you can see all your tasks that are due, all your appointments, and it's a very good place to look, especially when you're starting your day. And then you have your tasks, which tasks are very cool. So you can assign these to yourself, you can assign them to your VA, and they check them off and it disappears once they do it. And if it goes overdue, it shows up red. It's a really basic way to show what tasks are due. And we'll go over how to set this up. And it's a really just great way to, just go ahead and click close tour. Great way to kind of see what's expected of you for the day, any assignments or tasks that are set for you, and kind of go from there. So go ahead and close those out. So now let's go to adding some of our apps that are going to track the information that we need to keep our leads and all the other information such as KPIs, offers, closings, things like that. So let's go to add app, go to the app market. This is all free again. We're going to go down here to real estate. So we're going to go down here to, it should be the middle one, but it might change by the time you get to it. But I don't like this one because it's got just different apps that you don't need. So it should be the middle one, and the apps that look like this. Actually, let's just click on it. So it's got appointments, which are important to keep track of anything that we have. Offers, incoming requests, we're going to get rid of that. Closings is important. Leads are important. Marketing campaigns are important. Communication is not as important to me because you can keep the communication all inside the Seller Leads app. So this is optional, but I delete it. Contacts is a great place to add your, like let's say you have a title company and the point of contact there for the title search and all the coordination. This would be a great place to store that information so your team can access that. And property inspections, unless you're a rehabber or anything, you're going to be keeping track of these inspection reports. You can actually just delete this. You can also put those property inspection reports inside the Leads app, so you don't have to flip-flop between different apps. So let's go ahead and download this, Get Pack. It's going to ask you which workspace you want to create it in. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit See Installed Pack. Brings us to our workspace, and we can see all of our apps are here now. So what I like to do is go here to this little wrench. This is like your settings menu. We're going to go to Manage Apps. So we're going to delete the ones that we don't need, like the communication log. I like to keep things simple. So for that reason, you have less things to worry about. And I just find it cleaner, easier for everybody, especially when you scale up. It's less confusing. So let's go ahead and archive this communication log. And let's go to Manage Apps again. Incoming requests. Alright, let's just go ahead and refresh. Incoming requests. We're going to archive that. Manage Apps. And we're going to archive property inspections. If you want to restore it, you can. There's an option there. So if you delete them and you want to just later on down the road find that you want to add them back, you can just go down here to Manage Apps and Restore. So let's go back. Alright, now that we have the apps that we need, I like to set them up in order, and actually it looks like they're already in order. And there's one more app we need to add. This is something I haven't seen anybody talk about or teach. It's a really cool feature. So we're actually going to go up here to the search bar and type in KPI for key performance indicators. If you haven't already seen the video where I talk about what KPIs are and why they're important, I suggest you check that out on my channel. I'll link that in the description below. It's just asking you earlier if you wanted to try the other apps. Always say no. And go to try app now. So that brings us back to our workstation. So there's another app you can add. It's called your buyers app. So let's go to cash buyers. I'm going to get this app. So once we have our cash buyers, we can go in here and look at what that has to offer. And so, alright, so now we're here. So the first things first, we got our apps squared away, and all the apps are in the correct order. So we have our contacts, leads, it goes by this. So it goes into leads, the lead comes in, we store the lead information, we set the appointment, we make the offers, and it moves on to the closings. So if it's going to closing, we keep track of our closings through there. We keep track of any active offers that we have or any offers we need to follow up on there. And this is our marketing campaign. So we can track which marketing campaign the lead came from for our KPIs. So we're going to go through these one by one and teach you how to set it up and also things to watch out for. So let's go ahead and set up our marketing campaign. I did forget to mention, there's one more app. It's kind of like a bonus app. You don't have to have it, but I like to have it. So let's go to Whiteboard. So we're going to use that first one. We don't want those apps, just try the one. Yes. And what Whiteboard is, really briefly, is for the deals that you have under contract, you can see the status of them in a nice, neat manner. It's kind of like you have a whiteboard on your wall, and you can write down things that are going on with that one, so your team can come in here and see, oh, okay, this one's under contract. The notes say that we need to follow up with them once a week, things like that. So let's go back to our marketing campaign and set up our first marketing campaign. So whatever you're doing, text blasting, cold calling, let's go ahead and set that up. So I like to do cold calling, campaign ideas. So this is just like, what we're going to do. We're going to hit high equities. This date 1/25/21 through 1/31/21, something like that. You can hit that, and you're going to say, I'm going to hit vacant, etc., etc. So this is just like the ideas that you have for that month, and you can even add in like cold calling. So let's go in here and modify a template. So this is the cool part about Podio, is you can edit this to however you want. So almost nobody's going to use a billboard, and for the people that I have seen use billboards, they said they hated it. So we're going to just add cold calling in here, and you can add and delete as you wish. So Facebook ads, you can get as crazy as you want. Alright, so now that we have cold calling, we can mark that. Campaign status, we're going to go ahead and hit live because it started, and we can do a start and end date. So let's go ahead and hit 1/25. This is just a practice date. These aren't relevant at all. So after you're done your campaign, so cold calling, we factor the cost in by the dialer amount and FBA. You can also calculate how much it costs you, like if you want to do like a dollar amount to how much you're getting paid hourly, you can add that in here, so that way you can track your KPIs. Units is like, so if you're sending direct mail, how many mailers are you sending? At the end of the campaign, you can put how many phone calls you made, and as a result, what's going to happen is anytime you make a lead or create a new lead with the cold calling campaign as the marketing campaign, it'll track how many leads you got that. So you can see like 1,000 cold calls, and then you got like 20 leads from 1,000 cold calls. So something good to keep track of. So now that we have that set up, we're going to go ahead and hit save. Let me go ahead and see if I can't make this screen a little bit smaller. Let's move this over here. Let's do it like that. Boom. So we're not taking up too much stuff. Okay, so we have our marketing campaign set up, and now we're good to go through our KPIs. So this is really cool app that I found to track your KPIs. So we're going to hit add KPI, name of KPI. So we're going to hit like leads. So that's how many leads we got. And just a reminder, the only thing that we're going to store inside of Podio is the leads that we have coming in. So leads are anybody who wants or needs to sell and says yes to selling. Doesn't matter if they ask retail, it doesn't matter what they say, they're a lead, and that's how we fill our pipeline. So leads are good things. Prospects, however, are people who we need to contact to determine whether or not they want to sell, and we don't want to add prospects in here unless we're doing some like deep research. Maybe we got all wrong numbers, we're trying to find the right number and we don't want to forget about it. So we put it in here. If you're not using any kind of data management system like REI Sift, PropStream, List Stacker, things like that, then you can come in here and do it this way. So KPI description is leads for the month of February. KPI target, so I like to hit 40 to 50 leads per month. KPI status, so anytime you get a new lead, you're going to come up here and update this. So right now I think we're at like 26 or something. I know we have more than that, but then you can do the math in your head and figure out what that is. So whatever that is, you just multiply by 2, so that's 62, or it's 52, excuse me, can't math. And it's just asking you the dates you're tracking it, so whatever, just like that. And there. And then the owner is obviously going to be you. Supervisor, so if you're hiring this out, somebody else to do it, you can put that in there. Department's not really needed, so you can go ahead in here and add these unnecessary things. Progress report. Yeah, you don't really need to add these things. So then once you do that, you're gonna hit save. And now we can go to our KPI screen, and we can see we have active KPI. So leads is just one example of KPIs that we're going to track, but we could do calls versus leads coming in. So we could do, or if you have a KPI, you want to see how you're doing on, calls. Let's put like 1,000 is our goal, and you can track the amount of calls that we're making and how many leads associated with that date and time frame. And you can really track just about anything in your business and make it a KPI. The things that really matter is how much money you're spending versus how much you're bringing in via which marketing method, and capitalizing and putting more energy and money into those things that are bringing you the most money and return on investment. That's the purpose of KPIs. So now that we have our marketing campaign and KPIs set up, we're going to go ahead and go to leads. Now that we have a lead set up, we can go ahead and add lead. And you're going to notice a couple things here. Let's just go back to the lead screen so I can explain this to you. So over here is the team views, and what that means is you can edit this however you want. So if you want to filter your leads by like motivation status, lead status, deal status, things like that, you can do that over here. And once you start putting leads in, it'll start automatically filtering those, so you can just click on, like, let's say you only want to talk to hot leads, you can click on the hot leads and see what that brings up. So these are just filters for the overall list that we're going to be building. And the team views mean that the whole team can see this filter, and private views is something like, let's just say these are like the people who are ready to sell and you want to keep this to yourself, you can add that there. So let's go to add lead. So again, a couple things you're going to notice is there's a lot of things here that we don't need or we need to adjust. So these are the things I like to change and some of my suggestions. First off, I would reorder this entire page to fit your script. So what I mean by that is whatever the way your script works or the flow of your script, you know, the questions that you ask for the information you're trying to get, label the columns as that. So for example, my call starts out with what is your name, what's your phone number, email address, the address of the property, things like that. So, and if you would like access to my script, it might not be available at the time of this video, but if you're watching this at a later date, I will have my script available for purchase, so that way you can just make your script or make this page set up to my script that I use, and I will announce whenever that is available. Or you can check the description, and I'm sure it'll be in there once it is. So, and if you want to modify these things just like we did before, it's very customizable. You can go in here and do that. So what this is doing is, if you notice, for the app that we deleted incoming request, what it was doing is anytime you got a new lead, you would fill it out through incoming request, and then incoming request would move you to this leads app. And it's just like a redundant system. I don't like it. It's just one extra step that you don't have to take. So instead, I deleted the incoming request app, and we just create the seller array here, and we don't have to refer to anything. It's just all stored neat and organized inside this page. So let's go ahead and delete that, because this is a relationship. So what that means, it's going to refer to a different app. So we're going to go ahead and delete that. And we're going to do a new section that says text. We're going to label it seller, so that way we can add the seller's name in there. So we can add another one for phone number. Add another one. Created an extra one. Email. Go ahead and delete that extra one there. There we go. So we got the seller's name, phone number. Just put seller name, phone number, email address, and then you can go down here to these other things. Some other things you might want to add is like a notes section. So if you need to take down notes really quick, you can scroll down there and do that. But again, ideally you want to have the script or the template set to your script, so as you go through the call, you can just scroll down one by one. Makes it very, it flows very smoothly and efficiently. What this Zillow link is pretty cool. So whatever's in this address section, it's going to pop up a Zillow link. You can check out the Zestimate, and just like sometimes it pulls up a street view, or if it's listed. It's just a really cool thing to have that's automated and it's free. So we're going to keep that. And who's in charge of the lead, we're going to change that to who is going on appointment. So whether you're doing this virtual, making the phone call, or you're actually going out there, you're going to want to know who's going on the appointment once you set it. And you're going to want to move that down if it lets me. All right, so we're going to hit done. Because what happens is sometimes it bugs out and it won't let you edit anything. So we're going to go back to modify template. And now let's move this. So I like to move this down at the bottom because I have my notes as well as the appointments and any tasks set for the lead down here at the bottom. And this is a related marketing campaign. So what this is going to do, you want to type this in every time you get a lead through your marketing campaign. So let's say we're cold calling, this option will come up, and you just type in cold calling, and it'll bring up a little box that says cold calling, and you click it, and what that does is it now tracks it for that campaign, so you can see the amount of leads you're getting associated with that particular one. So if you're doing 2 different ones, cold calling or direct mail, you can see, okay, this one came from direct mail, this one was from cold calling. Lead status, so this is again, so later on you can filter by these kind of types of leads. A prospect, again, is somebody who has not answered whether or not they want to sell, so you can keep that in there, and go ahead and delete this one because we're going to add dead to the, this is actually motivation. Don't know what just happened there. I'm going to click out of that. Motivation. So now we can see that these guys are motivated, they're hot, motivation, warm, cold, and they're just a prospect. So we're going to relabel this part to lead status. And you guys can just follow along with me step by step. Lead status. Alright, so these are not really statuses, not really there. So let's say we have a lead that comes in through our website, something, and we need to reach them. They haven't been reached 3 times, and you can select what to do with them after that. Follow-up is a lead status, so they need to be followed up with. They need to do research, so we need to do research on this property or this lead. What's another status? Dead, leads dead, referred to agent. Agent. You can do things like this. So, and you can also change the color. So like follow-up is kind of important, so I do like blue or something. If it's dead, I put red. And refer to agent is dead, so we refer it to agent. Follow-up, so I mean you can customize that as much as you want. And these are the different fields that you can create over here. So as we're going along, you can see these. So this one says a little $sign, and what that means is it will only put a dollar amount in here. So when you put a number in, it converts it to dollars. That's really cool. Phone is obviously you put the phone number in there. So I did a text box for mine, but you can actually just do the phone number. So it automatically formats it as a phone number. Members, so that's who was going on the appointment. Relationship, if you wanted to link to something else like your KPIs, things like that. And location, we already have that. So these are in the category are these ones, so you can set categories. So that's just a breakdown of the fields right there. So now that we got our lead status, we can go down. Ideal time frame, this is good to know. Bedrooms, bathrooms. The only thing I don't see here is like repair estimate, repairs needed. So you can get that. It says virtual wholesaler, I get that on the phone. Occupancy, deal status. So deal status is good to know, offered, accept, rejected. So rejected is another one. And you can do a follow-up, something like that. Because if it's rejected and they say don't ever call me again, you can mark it as dead. Or you can just do rejected if they say no and you want to follow up with them later on. So related request, I just go ahead and delete that actually. And who's going on the appointment, and I want to have a date here for when the appointment is. When is the appointment? We're going to click done. So obviously you can add as many fields as you want and labels as you want, but just for time's sake, this is what we're going to do. So we got John Smith here. John Smith. If there's any John Smiths watching, we're coming for you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. emails, yada yada yada. All right, this person, it needs to be done research. They're hot, warm. I want to set my appointment for myself, and I want to do it today at 5. And then we're going to save this lead. Because if we click out of this box and we don't save it, everything we just did is going to be erased. Not the adjustments of the template, but the lead itself. The lead information in here, we're actually going to be able to set a task. So whatever that next status is, whether it's the follow-up, do research, whatever it may be, we can go ahead and set that task. Tasks are located at the bottom alongside the related items such as the offers that we're going to be setting up, closings, and appointments. So for this one, we'll go ahead and type in do research. And you're going to select who is responsible for doing the research, so finding comps, things like that. We're going to do it for tomorrow. Deadline is 12. And you can even set a little bit of information, find comps, find ARV, come up with offer, create offer. So we can set a reminder. You can have it remind me on the due date, 10 minutes before, 1 hour before. I mean, you can get as crazy with this as you want. And we'll go ahead and create task. So now we have this task created. Tomorrow we can come in first thing in the morning and we can go, okay, let's look at my tasks. Oh, I see I need to do research for John Smith. Is there any additional notes? Yep, find all this information. Okay, let me go to John Smith. Boom, there we go. And that's how we do tasks. So now John Smith's going to pop up in our leads. So we see John Smith here. We can actually change the way this is, the way it looks. So I like to do it like this. Because after you get a lot of these, the boxes are just, they don't make sense. So now we can start to see it starts to add some filters in here. And we can see that the labels that we changed did not reflect here. So if you wanted to change these views, what you can do is actually you can go to this wrench and edit, and we're going to label this as motivation. And it's asking you which column is it going to be reflecting on. So now we got this one, and this one's going to be, we can see that it's reflecting on lead status, so we're going to label it lead status. And as you can see, you can really start to get a good bird's eye view of what's going on in your business and your leads just by these little filters here. Or you can go into them individually by going to all leads and looking at them like this. And this is just saying if you want to save it like this so it always shows up like this, you can hit save. That's what I do. And I actually wouldn't suggest that. So options. You can select what you want to see here that pops up at first eye glance and things like that. Alright, so now we got our lead put in here. We cold called John Smith. We got his information. Now we know we got an appointment set. So we go in here, just make sure our appointment is set. John Smith. All right, so a couple things about this. This appointment app, you can actually delete it or keep it. And what you can do is, it's kind of the same thing as what was on the Leads app. So we actually added the appointment into the form as one thing. But the Appointments app is a separate thing that they have that you can keep track of it. It's good to have because when you scale up, you can see your appointments all neat and organized there. Or you can keep it in your Leads app so that way when you're viewing the lead, you can see when the appointment is. Or you can just simply go up here to this little Appointments tab and click on it. And whether it's set in the lead or it's set here on the Appointments section, it's going to pop up there in your Appointments app. So let's go ahead and click on that. we didn't save this appointment, so that's fine. Close door. Okay, so this is good that we just found this out. What we're going to do is actually we're going to be storing our appointments. I still like to keep it in the Seller Leads app, but we're going to store our appointments here. So that way the appointments show up under the calendar. So this new appointment is going to be related to John Smith. There's no contacts for this one because we're not talking to any title companies or anything like that yet. So the appointment date is tomorrow at 5. And if you're going on a physical location, you can type it in here. Or if you're doing it virtual, you don't have to worry about that. And agenda. So if you want to type in like what this appointment's about, for my appointments they're typically just phone appointments, so I would type in phone appointment. And once that's done, we'll go ahead and hit save appointment. And so when it comes time to attend the appointment, you can have your employees or yourself select whether you're attending or not, so that way you can see who's actually going on the appointments they're supposed to be going on and track that. So let's go here to the appointments tab now, and we should see this pop up. And we do. So right there it is. And you just click on that and it brings you to the appointment, and from there you can click on the seller lead, and whoever's on the appointment can see all the information they need to see to get them to the next step, which the next step is going through the offer. So offers, same thing, you can filter these by however you would like, and let's go ahead and add offers. So let's say John Smith, we called him, we did our first phone call, now we're on the appointment to make the offer. So we did our research and we found that the offer amount is $100,000. And again, related contact is if, let's say, once you make the offer, you're going to send it to your title agent. You would ideally create that in your contact section, and that way you can link that to there so your team can see that. And if you have any files regarding this property, you can upload it there. Offer deadline, so if you sent the contract, let's say we sent it, and the deadline on it was for, you should always be sending deadlines on your contracts if you send them out so that the seller has fear of loss, and put that deadline there so you can see that offer deadline. Perfect. So this person has until the 25th to create an offer or accept the offer or reject it, so that way we can follow up with them. We're going to go ahead and save that offer. Alright, we called the seller, they accepted. Now we can change that status to accepted. We can go back here to offers. And we can see we have one accepted offer right now. You can even go as far as adding in a closed option. So once you close the deal, you can see that this is now closed, because looking at this, whether it's closed or not, you won't know, and you can click on it and spend time on it that it's already done, or your team could. So let's go to closings. So now we created our offer, the seller accepted. Let's add our closing in. So from here we can click offers, because we created the offer for John Smith. Any leads, so again the title agent, or excuse me, any leads, so you're referring to the offer, also the leads, so this is all kept track here in one page. Closing date, that's important to know, and whether it's an assignment, a rental, or you're going to be flipping it, you can rechange that label if you want. And any contacts associated with this closing, so the title agent, things like that. And also you can even go as far as adding the closing price in here, as well as adding a field for your purchase price so you can see the difference. And using this calculation, there should be a calculation option. You can actually have it set up so that way you can subtract the closing price from the purchase price. And the way you do that, it tells you right here using the at. So we would do at, let's just imagine this was purchase price minus, the purchase at purchase price, and that would be your potential profit. So you could label this as profit, and you could do something like that. So that's how you could use that calculation field there. That's pretty cool. Oops, we're gonna cancel this. Hit done. For some reason it won't let me move this anywhere else. So we have this information on the closing. We can track that, and now our closing is saved. Good thing, good thing. So as the lead moves through the statuses here, we can kind of track that, and yeah, once it's closed in there, you can mark it as closed. Again, relabel them however you want. You can go to this whiteboard, and you can add in a new whiteboard. So you can have this reference the seller leads app, and the way we do that is by coming in here, clicking this, choose an app. We're going to click seller leads. We can even go as far as creating a buyers list, or adding a field in here that references our buyers so we can see who's associated with this transaction on the buyer end. And you can see a lot of the same stuff that we see in the closing app. So you could realistically just use the whiteboard instead of the closings app, but you could have both of them. One to just see strictly the closings, and then you could see the other one as like a visual reference, because the whiteboard's more visual. Closing app is more like formal, and that's the way I see it. So once you create that, you can go down and hit save, but we're not going to because you get the point. Alright, so I created an example cash buyer for us. We can go in here and see we can add in this information. So what I like to do is add in a field here. Have they been filtered? Not filtered. And you could also duplicate this. Investment strategy. Rentals, do they buy rentals? Are they flipper? Wholesaler? Loan officer, things like this. So you can add all these different ones in here and add in their information, phone numbers, and email would be a good one to catch. So now that you got your email in here, or now that you got all the information here on your buyer, you can go ahead and click done. And you got a very basic sheet on how to track your buyers and kind of see who's interested in what. You can add filters in there, so anytime you get a deal in your cash buyers list, you can filter that over here, your hot filters, and you can filter them by rehabber, flipper, things like that. So when you get a flip deal, you can say, oh, okay, click on all the flippers, I want to send it to these people. And you can export their emails and then send them all an email. It's very cool. The way you would export that information is you go here, you gotta go here and Excel export. And what that's going to do is it's going to export all this stuff. So that's a really cool way how you can manage your cash buyers, and it kind of ties everything in full circle. I spent a lot of time on this video creating this and kind of showing you guys how to create this from scratch, customize it yourself, the ins and outs of it. There's one last thing I do want to show you actually. Up here in your account, you can go to account settings. So this is important for your virtual wholesalers. So for you all, you want to change your time zone to whatever the market time zone is. So for example, when you go to set your appointments, you're going to want to change that to, like, let's say if you're in the New York time zone, you want to change it to the Central time zone if you're in the Central market. So like for example, if I'm in Maryland and I'm wholesaling in Texas, I'm going to want to change the time zone to Texas, because anytime I go to set an appointment, it's going to set it in Texas time. That way I know that whenever I get the notification, it's going to remind me, because I'm in Eastern Standard Time, that I have an appointment an hour ahead of the actual appointment time. So that's just something very small and quick to fix there. But I spent a lot of time on this, guys, so if you found any value out of this, or if you have any questions, if you like this, whatever you think, or if you have any suggestions, anything I missed, put it down in the comments section below. I look forward to hearing your feedback, and I really appreciate your time watching this, and I hope it helps your business. If it does, put it down below, and I look forward to seeing you guys succeed. Remember, just do you.